I would say the key to my career progression um, is surprisingly ignorance. And I say that meaning the adage, ignorance is bliss. I didn't know I would be a playwright. So therefore, I do not have any formal education in playwriting. I haven't taken any classes in playwriting. I am a trained actor, so I guess that helps. But because I don't have that type of training, it made me confidently blissful in pursuing playwriting and not having any barriers or limitations on what's right and what's wrong. And so I, with a lot of determination, would go after anything I felt was going to help me grow as an artist, as a playwright, and as a person in my career. And because of that mindset, it didn't stop me from going after things that I wanted. So the way that I frame that question is, I think of it being, was there a point of when I felt the shift from being a young playwright to an experienced playwright? And I think that for me, there's two parts to that question. One being the external part of it, which is my peers and people in the industry who at some point were, commending me and singing songs of praise and pride. And that was amazing. And it's something for me to have received and to know and be like, okay, something's happening here. And then the other part of this is the internal, which I have to say, I feel like I felt about 2 years ago when I realized my motivation had changed, and it was no longer this tunnel vision you have when you first start playwriting, which is like, okay, I have to write this play. What's the next thing I'm going to do? And like, I have to get that. It's more about me looking at the industry as a whole and the theater and institutions as organisms that I have to figure out, like, how do these parts move and are put together, and how can I make a change. Like the conversation is much larger than just the play at this point. It's like, how can I make a difference in a greater way? Oh yeah, a premiere in New York, or any premiere for any production, can be stressful. It's just tremendous work. So I think that there are like three steps that I used to get through the process in coping. And step one is having a support system, whether that's friends, family, your agent, and other peers who have gone through it or not gone through it. Just having someone in your corner that you can get a pep talk from at times, or like when you need to relieve something. It's just great and absolutely important to have. Step two, before you begin any part of this process, I think it's important for you to ask yourself, what does success look like for me? And what do I hope to accomplish here? Therefore, you have in mind what your goals are. So, despite anyone else's, you won't get distracted by that. And step three for me is having a piece of a literature. And the entire time of my production process, I was holding on to Bell Hooks Black Looks, Race and Representation, because it representation matters so much to me, because the play was covering that. It just felt like something nice to have a hold of during this process. So yeah, recognition trips me up personally, because I just can't help think about it as like highfalutin and like prestige, and I don't really necessarily see myself that way. But if I think about the benefits of where my career has taken me thus far, um, it makes me think of like moments like these, where I am able to use myself to hopefully inspire, give a little hope and a teeny bit of advice. So like perhaps someone can feel seen. And I have a lot more opportunities now to do that than I did before, and I'm really, really grateful and appreciative for that. The other benefit I feel like is that people believe you more. People are willing to listen more, and they genuinely believe the answers that you provide. I think that some of the challenges of, having greater recognition goes hand in hand with, like, the benefits of, um, I may have some answers, but I don't have all the answers. Um, I feel like I know less, and less every day. And I think that just comes with wisdom, is like knowing that you don't know everything. But I think the biggest challenge I face personally is being present. To be an artist means truly embracing living in the moment, whether that's day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. You have to be present. But on the flip side, we live in a framework of like a capitalistic world, country. And so that means not being present, means looking up to the future. And so my challenge on a day-to-day basis is, how can I be present today? The advice I would give for playwriting is that it's not as glamorous as it may seem on IG or any social media platform. It is difficult, it is challenging, and it requires a lot of sacrifice. And you can't do it without financial backing or financial security, no matter what anyone says. Playwriting is not going to pay your bills, it is not going to pay your rent, and is not going to put food on the table. And therefore, you should only do playwriting because you cannot imagine yourself doing anything else, because it is second nature to you. Um, the other piece of advice I have is, there's no reason why you should feel like you have to follow in the footsteps of another playwright. Everyone's trajectory is as different and unique as a fingerprint. You shouldn't try to mimic anyone else's career, because you can't. That is absolutely impossible. I'm always happy to inspire you, but I think you should never aspire to be me or anyone else, because you are you.